going to need for this project is some bits of paper to make your flowers out of, and I've chosen some slightly thicker cardstock so that it's a little bit easier to work with, but this will work with fabric, with felt, with tissue paper, anything you've got at home. Some bits to make the leaves, so I'm going to use some little scraps of green card. Obviously string for our threading, and then equipment wise I've just got some scissors, a pencil, I've got a pair of tweezers, and then you will need some glue. Now I'm going to use a hot glue gun just for speed in the demonstration, but if you're doing it with the kids you might just want to use a wet glue and hold it in place with a little peg or something to start with. So pop that to one side and let's get started. Now the first thing we're going to do to create the flowers is from each piece of our cardstock, we're going to draw a circle. So just get something nice and simple to draw around, and you're just going to draw around and get yourself a nice, neat circle. And then what we're going to do is draw like a circular motion into the middle of it. So can you see, if I start roughly in the middle, we're going to go around, just swirling it round, getting a bit of a circular motion going around here. Now the bigger the circle, the bigger your flower's going to be. But roughly that is what you're looking at needing. And I'm going to do that with quite a few sheets. You need one sheet per flower. And then what we're going to do is, first of all, cut out the circle. It doesn't have to be neat. Remember, these are just for you doing them at home. And if you want bigger flowers, do bigger circles. Smaller flowers, obviously smaller circles, or you can do multiple colours and roll them together. And then I'm going to cut around where we have that swiggly motion, we'll call it, into the middle. So nothing about these flowers is precise. Something else I love to do with them is if you want to tear them and get like a torn effect on your card, that always looks really good as well. So little circles all the way into the middle, and then we're ready to roll this up and turn this into a flower. So there we go. This is when you're going to get your glue ready to go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the outside and hold it in place with a little pair of tweezers and just start rolling. Now if you don't have tweezers, you can always do this, remember, just with a well, you can just hold it and roll it in your fingers, to be honest. Anything. I'm just using these to hold it in place to kind of give me that starting point. And you can see there, just as I'm rolling round and round, keep it nice and tight. We can loosen it off as we get towards the edge, and that will absolutely enable you to get like a looser flower before we put it in place. This is why I use that nice, slightly thicker cardstock, because it's going to hold its shape as we're going. So rolling round, rolling round, rolling round. And then as we get to the end, just take your tweezers out and you've got that nice circle. And then as you see, as we leave it, it will start to unravel a little bit on its own. So that's forming the base shape of the flower. Then I'm going to come in and pop a big glob of glue down, and we can stick the base part of the flower over the top there. And can you see that makes it into that lovely, lovely rounded flower shape. I'll do another one just to make sure you're getting the hang of it, okay? So I've got another circle here that I've already done all the swirly cuts into. To be honest, after a while, you'll start not drawing them and just cutting them freehand. Let me show you. It's the swirling up that you want to practice a little bit. So just getting hold of the edge of the paper, folding it over, and then just twisting it round as we're going. What you'll find is by the time you've done a half a dozen of these, you'll become a little bit of a flower making pro. And they're quite nice just to relax, wind down, take your time. You don't have to do a whole garland's worth at one time. And you'll see it'll just kind of fall into place. So as we get all rolled round here, then you leave loose. Then our little flowers kind of it immediately falls into that little flower shape. If you want to tighten it back up, you see, you want to make it smaller again, you can easily do that. You can tighten it, unravel it. But then as soon as you put that glue on the end, this is what's going to set it all in place. So I'm going to tighten mine a little bit further there, pop that in the top, and then there we've got our lovely flower coming into place. So you're going to do that and make quite a few little flowers. Now I thought I'd show you a variation on the flower too. So let's have another little go. Let's get a darker sheet of card and do our circle. So nice drawing around the circle there. And then I'll draw it in pencil, but then I've got one where I've rubbed it out. So let's just imagine that we've done our swirl all the way around and we've got like a nice neat swirl. Then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, instead of the swirl, I'm going to go and like just bring it little windy bits like this, just round the edges off so that you can bring them all around. Like I said, I'm drawing it in pencil. It might be easier for you just to do it freehand straight away with a pair of scissors. So these are giving you like the petal effects, okay? And then what we're going to do is you're going to cut onto the petal effects instead. So we'll go all the way around the outside. Bear in mind what's on the outside of your circle is what's going to become the inside of your flower. So it all kind of inverts a little bit. And then we're just going to go round, bringing these pieces a little bit rounded. Doesn't have to be too rounded, depending on how you want your petals to be on your flower. But you're just doing exactly the same thing as we did before, but this time rounding off those lovely petals, and it just gives you a different flower shape. This is why I said before you could tear it if you wanted. Whatever edge of your flower you feel looks really, really nice. So all the way around, right into the middle. There we go. Now, I've done one of these where I've rubbed away all my pencil marks. So let me show you. Here is exactly that, but with the pencil marks rubbed away. So if I lift that out, you can see there, I think you can see quite well on the overhead. You can see how we've just done that like a cloud shape. And then do exactly the same as we did before. So starting on the edge, hold the edge piece and just start to roll it around with your tweezers, or sometimes when I've done these with the kids, I've glued the end piece to a cocktail stick so that they can then hold the edge with a cocktail stick. If you're not doing it with your scissors, the other option you see is to hold it and just twist it in your fingers. You see? So just twisting all around with your fingers and you're going to get that flower shape. So I've got one where I've rubbed the pencil mark away. So it's exactly the same, we've just rubbed that pencil mark away. Now, when you're rolling this, just be careful based on which way you've gone with your cloud shapes, which way you're going to roll it. So once I get into my cloud shapes, I want the cloud shapes to be on the outside, which means whereas before I rolled it this way, I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to roll it the other way. So I'm going to roll it so that it's nice and tight in the middle, but our bushy cloud shapes are going to come round the outside. So I started rolling, and then actually I can take it off and just roll it in my fingers all the way around. And this is where it really does help, because I've used the cardstock for this one, and the cardstock's going to have a little bit of memory in there and retain its shape. It's going to look great. There we go. So go rolling all the way around. You can see it's wanting to fall out of place, but it's once we've got going with it, it'll be brilliant. We've got it nice and tight. We're going to leave loose and it'll unravel a little bit. You can see there, I'm going to go a little bit tighter than that. Once I'm happy with how tight, little blob of glue on and pop the piece into the little blob of glue. And then just hold it until it sets. And the great thing with using the glue gun, obviously, is that's going to set in a matter of seconds. Whereas if you're using a wet glue, like a PVA, you might just need to sit and hold it in place a little while for it to do the setting. So whether you do the straight edge ones or the curvy edge ones, you're going to need quite a few flowers to make into your garland. So I've got myself a few here that we've already got ready, and I'm going to show you how we start and put this together. So you'll need your string, and then you'll need some bits of card. And what I've done with my bits of card is I'm going to do some just freehand cut some little leaves from the little bits of green card. So there we go. And I find they look nice with the little leaves on here and then little backs onto my card. So little leaves like this, just folding in half and they're just forming your little leaf shapes. Nothing has to be perfect because in nature, nothing is perfect. There we go. So here's our little leaves, and then also you want some little circles of card to stick these onto. So can you see, I've just sat and cut out, just drawn around some 2p pieces and cut out some little circles of card. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, first of all, leave a little bit of string at the end. Then we're going to put our base down, put some glue from the glue gun or from your wet glue and sit the string inside, and then this is going to go in place on the top there so that it sandwiches that piece of string in between the green card and the pink card. And then we'll go a bit further and we'll put on a couple of these leaves. So when you're doing your leaves, just a little bit of glue, because it will take ages to dry if not. A little bit of glue to get that on there. And if you are doing this, if you are doing it with the kids, please be careful with the glue gun. That's my only thing. I've got 2 young boys at home and they love to play with Mummy's glue gun, and Mummy won't let them anywhere near the glue gun for the exact reason of they're just terrible. Kids just get a little bit overexcited with it. So we can see there, that's totally sealed in place. Let's try the next one. So leave a little bit of a gap. You're going to pop your glue down here. String goes through the middle of the glue, and we'll pop a different colour one on this time, and your next piece goes in there. And you're just going to continue on with your string. Got a couple more leaves here. Continue on with your string until you're happy. And it's completely up to you how you want to piece the finished project together. Whether you want to do one long string, whether you want little bits of string hanging off it. But once you've got those lovely rolled flowers, you'll see they're very easy to make into some sort of garland like this. I'll pop this last one on for you. We'll have one of our nice florally ruched edge ones. And you can see there how that's starting to form that little bit of a string already. And if I bring in the one that we've got right to the final stage, here we go. Can you see I've done one long one at the top, and then I've had lots of little bits dangling from it. And this would make a lovely, like a little flower curtain. It just makes a lovely area of flowers draped over the edge of something. But once you've got that principle of rolling the flowers, it's really easy to turn it into a fantastic little project.
If you like that video, there are loads more talks, classes and exclusive videos from the Happy Place Virtual Festival. So don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Do follow us on Instagram for constant updates and enjoy.